Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Now today we're basically working our way through the room, and we've still got bits and pieces that need rehousing, changing from old enclosures, moving up to bigger enclosures, and we've got a little assortment here. So I figured we'd literally just run a video, just a quick video on moving over some of our faster species. We've got 4 Macrothelli gigas, the Japanese funnel web. We have a Linothelli fallax, which is a curtain web spider. And then we also have the O harmonicon, which again is another very quick curtain web spider or tunnel web spiders. Now we're going to move them over into these 5-litre boxes here for now. And this will allow them to actually web up and do everything that they need to do. And then what we can do at the end, we have already rehoused a couple of our funnel webs into these, and we'll have a little look at them as well and see how they've got on and what they've done. So just for now, we will just crack on. These are, you may have remembered in the old video, these are very simple way of housing, and these pots are actually really effective for anything that's going to be like pretty much heavy webbing that don't need a huge amount of room, but they're also useful for our fossorial spiders. So we've stuck some of our fossorials, and now with the fossorial stuff we fill them up to pretty much 3/4 full. That gives them enough depth for our fossorial spider to disappear and feel secure. He doesn't need feet and feet of depth of substrate, so we literally 2/3 and it's absolutely perfect. Now with these guys, these need even less, and you'll see here that this is actually quite dry. It's not, there is a dampness to it, there's a texture to it, but it doesn't need to be overly deep with these guys. Especially the harmonicon, they don't tend to burrow down, they literally web everything. So that's enough there. What you want is just enough to be able to use it as a moisture base, so that you can get moisture into it if needs be, but you don't need much else. Now with the funnel web, we'll give them a little bit more. We can literally run through this stuff. It's very simple. Alright, so we'll just literally make sure we got enough. Like I say, they don't need a huge amount. There's enough there if they want to. Right, that'll do them. And then what we're looking at is, because these are a webbing spider, in the wild state, these guys would in actual fact live underneath things. So they'll be under old pots, bits of wood, that sort of thing. So they'll live in crevices. And then what they do then is, outside of that crevice, they build their web areas. So what we're going to do, we're going to use some flat pieces of bark, and then we can literally just put them sort of across the enclosure. So this, by doing this, it gives them multiple entry points that they can actually exit from, or they can come up from underneath. They can go any way they like, which is absolutely ideal. Now this one here, this is a bit, probably a little bit on the long side, that. So we can create areas that they can climb underneath and gain security. And then we can also, if it's a bit long, we can just snap a piece off, make it so that it fits. Doesn't need to be anything too specific, as long as it serves the purpose. So by doing this, you can see in this one here, we've got, if I put it at the front, they've got access from the ends, either end, and they can get access through the back here as well. And you'll be surprised how they'll literally squeeze up through these. And what this does is this will allow them to gain those all important webbing points. Doesn't need to be too crazy. Now we're going to have a single water bowl in each one. Now these water bowls will disappear. They're not going to stay in here for long, because by the time they start webbing up, it'll be a case of they'll be gone. Now what we have noticed with some of our others, especially the funnel webs, is they've built like a carpet web all over, and they've got like double entries to the actual bless you, my dear.
Thank you.
They got double entries towards the bark, so rather than going over the top, they've used the ends, and they've sealed themselves in underneath. So their water bowls haven't been too bad. They're on the side. We can use those with things like the harmonicons, the sericatas, the fallax. They web all the way up. They go up. So once they've actually done their initial build, we'll give them a few weeks, and then what we'll do is we'll get our water bowl and we'll hot glue it up high, and then it'll be easier to maintain by doing it like that. The one on the floor we'll just put down as being lost, because that will get buried. It will just get webbed into everything else. So we will hot glue them. Now you might ask, why don't we do that now? You know, the reason we don't want to do it now is because it will in effect give them another anchor point, and they will probably work off of that being up high. So we will allow them to work their thing and build it up, and then when they're pretty much done, we'll stick it in the top. And then all we've got to do then is just keep it clean, keep it clear, because one of the things you do have to be careful of is when you use a water bowl in an arboreal situation, when they web to it, the web will in fact act as a wick, and it will suck the water out. So it literally disappears. It's quite strange how it works, because if you pour water onto a web, it repels it. It disappears. But when they web around the water bowl, as the web gets old, it starts to wick the water out. So we have to be a little bit aware of that. Now, as regarding to the water bowls, there's been many conversations of late about water bowls and what we should be doing with them. Now, here in the beastie room, we don't fill our water bowls every day. So the vast majority of the stuff that we keep here, we will fill it once a week. Unless we get species that are very thirsty spiders. Some of the true spiders, they like to have water constantly on tap, so we have to maintain that they keep that. But many of the others, it will last in these bowls for 2 or 3 days, and then generally it will evaporate. That would have given them long enough to actually feed, to drink, sorry. And then because we keep and feed all of our own live food, we are giving our spiders a very high moisture content food. So their food is very good, and that allows for us to play around with the water bowls a little bit more. So we don't have to worry so much. We're not worried about our spiders dehydrating. Now then, we've got quite a busy table here. So what we're going to do, I think...
Do 3 at a time, Dave.
3 at a time, yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Right, I think what we're going to do is we shall do a funnel web in this one here. Let's do that. Let's give this bad boy here. Right, so if you want to come over here and have a look, we can have a quick little look at these spiders as they go in. And then as we put them in, we can put the lid on and we can move on to the next one. Now these, as you guys know, are our Japanese funnel webs. You notice that as soon as we started opening the top, sticks its head in the corner, it wants to hide. There you go. we're going to take the lid off.
Give me a bit of light in there, please. Where's your torch? Do you want me to get it?
It's the only thing with black and brown spiders. They don't always show up too well.
Move it about a little bit more, please. Over that. That's it. Yeah.
We'll get a little bit better look at it once we move it over.
See your nice shiny legs.
They are very shiny, they're lovely. Now, as you know, we need to treat our funnel webs with a little bit of respect. So we are going to move this here like so. Now these guys don't climb plastic so well, so what we're hoping for is we're going to move it over and it will in fact fall down onto this log. Now, that's not going to be a problem because these guys are very, very light. Now, can you get on that okay? Now, as you can see there, Mrs. Funnel Web here is not the most happiest. Right, hold on 2 seconds. As you can see, we're in a full fret display there. Right, let's move these over here out of the way a minute. So as you can see, we are in a full fret display. Now, this has got its benefits because it means our spider isn't so keen on disappearing or running away because it's too busy defending itself. So what we're going to do now is we are going to turn this around this way so you guys get a good look. Now what we're going to do, we are going to try, you see how the spider rocks itself backwards and forwards? This is basically trying to make itself look much bigger than it is. It holds its first pair of legs up here. You see that? It's holding itself up very, very high, spreading itself out, and you can see as it's exposing its fangs. Now you might ask, how on earth does it see when its eyes are on the top of its head, but it can see this brush moving down here and it can feel everything. All these little hairs on it, they're all picking up. Now you see, even there, it threatens to bite, but it doesn't bite. So it knows the brush is there, but it doesn't want to waste getting hurt by actually physically attacking the brush. So it will only bite when it has got no other option. These guys, they don't bite just for the hell of it. Right, let's see if we can't get it in the box. So we're going to lift it up. There you go. You see that? She threatens again. She's not interested in touching the brush at the moment. Now, as we move over here now, she will touch the brush because we're going to touch her. See? You notice though, she's only striking, she's feigning attack. She's not physically biting. Alright. What we can do, we use the other end. Now you see how she's changed now? She's more upright. She's still not biting the brush, she's feigning attack. There you go, and she's in.
Oh, proper hidden. Sorry, guys.
And disappeared in a flash.
Wow, that was...
Alright, so let's move this around. There we go. And there she is. She's down in that bottom corner there.
That was super quick, I didn't...
Super, super quick. Yes, they are very, very fast. So what we'll do is we'll put the lid on that one and we'll move on to the next one. Because the interesting thing here is watching how they actually react to what we're doing. You know, it's just an interesting thing to see what they actually get up to.
Does he still run away from you?
Yes, they still run away. They're not so interested in that full-blown attack. Right, let's try this one. So we'll come back over here, and as you can see, she is sitting on top of the web and perfectly happy.
You say she is? Do we know?
Well, no, we don't know what sexes these are, but we tend to refer as most things as she's. So she's going to be sat there now. Now, as we come to open the lid, she will obviously feel the vibration. Now some will run away, others will just sit there. So we just need to find out what kind of spider we've got. Quite a confident one by the look of things. So we're now going to take the lid off very, very carefully, because the web is attached to the lid, and when we lift it, it's going to lift the surrounding area that our spider is sat on, and this may well upset her. So we lift it directly upwards. Well, it wasn't connected that badly, you see, so that was okay. So there she is. Still no fret display as of yet. We're seeing nothing at all. And as you can see, this one is slightly browner. So this is going to be coming up for a molt very soon. See them huge fangs that the funnel webs are famous for? Absolutely gorgeous. Very, very nice spider. Right, let's see if we can get her in the box. See if we can do it in one piece. This is always the point now where it all gets a little interesting, because it's that first contact is what is going to make the difference as to whether she runs up the box and up my arm, or whether we go into the box. So what we're going to do now is we are just going to touch. You notice we've had no reaction from her at all. Let's see what happens. Very, very gently. Very gently. We're touching and still no reaction. Look at that. There you go. And straight in the box. Now you would have seen from that there was no defensive mechanism used at all.
She ran.
She literally just ran. She wasn't interested in standing and fighting. She was more interested in saving her own skin and doing a runner. Now this is a very important thing, because we can see now, when we look at the difference in the behaviours of them, that this is a spider that has a formidable reputation for being highly aggressive. This is showing that that is not necessarily the case. If we deal with them in a certain way, we can maneuver them without the aggression. So even when we done the first one, she was in threat display, she still didn't make full contact with a bite. She was lots and lots of feigning, but no actual bite action. And this is something that's very, very important. Right, so we'll get the lid on that one. So she literally just wanted to get away. She just wanted to run and hide. Let's do another one. We'll see how these go. We'll do another funnel web. As we're on the funnel webs, we might as well do them. Right. Now this one has literally tucked its head straight in the corner, straight away. So this spider is not quite as confident. She's actually turned around. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the box around so that at least she's facing in the direction we want her to go. And take the lid off. And as you can see, this one's a little bit more black. So she hasn't long molted out. Now it can be difficult to move them when they've got their head down in a hole like this, as opposed to being on the outside. So we're going to go back up to the same thing again, rest the edge on there. We're tilting it slightly as well, so we want it to go in this direction. That's the plan. So we're going to touch her again, very, very gently. Notice that we're literally almost like a slight breeze on her. Important that we don't jump too much. We don't want her coming back up this way. So we're going to try and... Now we're getting caught up in the web. You see now she's up here. So we're going to turn this around. Very gently. Always remember, just stay nice and calm. She's going to come back down this way, so we're going to go back. Remember, if you hold the box underneath at the bottom, You haven't got your fingers overhanging. So then we're going to use the web now to try and put a little bit of pressure on. She's going to make a run for it now. You notice we've seen no aggression. There you go, and she's in. No aggression. All we're seeing is flight mode. She just wants to get away.
Sit in the corner again.
Yeah. This is, you see now, look, she's digging desperately. She just wants to hide. She just wants to get away from that naughty fella with a paintbrush. Now these guys will soon settle down and they'll soon web up and they'll be okay. You notice the added advantage of these toolboxes, the fact that we don't put too much soil in there, only a couple of inches of soil in there, and they can't climb up them. So we know as soon as they hit the bottom, we're safe. As time goes by and they build them up, then that gets a little bit more precarious as we go. But at the moment, it's not an issue. Right, I think we've got one more funnel web left. So we'll do that one. As you can see, this one's sitting on top of the box again. And then we're going to slowly get this lid off. You notice where the lids click on, they do actually, yeah, you see, look, she's retracted now. So she's in hide mode. Now when I lift this box, look at her legs. See her legs moving? This is because the web is connected to the lid. So we have to be very, very careful when we lift it. You see how we're lifting it at an angle? We've broken that back part. We're now going to slide it towards me because this doesn't lift her leg. This is just pulling the web away. There you go. Now if we'd lifted that straight up, her legs would have lifted up in the air and she would have felt threatened. By moving it at almost the same height as the spider, we're allowing the web to break, but we're not lifting her up. Now you can see she isn't far, she's in pre-molt at the moment, and you can notice there that her abdomen is almost purpley. So she's very close, her legs are brown, very, very close to molting. It won't be too long and she'll molt out. So what we got now, this is an interesting point here. If we look at her enclosure that she's in, she's sitting in the middle. We want to move her to the end. Now I figure she'll probably prefer this end to this end, so we're going to put this end towards the enclosure, but we've got this trench running around the bottom here, down the sides. She may well try and go in there rather than go straight out, so we need to bear that in mind. We're going to move our tub up again. Again, this is another very confident spider, this one. Now we're going to use the brush. Now you notice we're not using the end of the brush, we're going to use the length of the brush. We're going to touch her very, very gently. Very, very gently. She might just take off. There you go. You notice, you see, she moved from side. We're going to turn this a little bit now to the angle. We don't want to dive. Whoa, fingers. See how now she's gone into fret position, which isn't too bad. Whoa, 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 steady up. We're going to go sideways, see if this works. Now as soon as we touch, she will probably spin round to the brush. Yep, there you go. So now we can, there you go, just gently walk her over. Absolutely lovely. Now looking very, very nice. There we go. You can see
brown legs now.
Yeah, you can see clearly now that she's in pre-molt. Now we can tell literally looking at her now that it's probably going to be maybe a week and she'll molt out. She's looking quite sort of opaque on her abdomen, but I would probably reckon around about a week. This will give her time to actually web up a little bit. She'll make a carpet web on the floor and she'll she'll molt out on top of that and she'll be absolutely fine. She'll grow a little bit with that molt and come out jet black. Very nice. Now then, that is the 4 funnel webs out of the way. So we're done then. No dramas. Nice and easy. We'll put them over there. Now we've got these guys. And I think what we'll do is we'll do the fallax first. We'll put the fallax in this one. Now the fallax are notoriously quick, very, very fast. This is a young male. He's very, very brightly coloured, very pretty. So we'll put this over here. We'll try and have a look. We'll have a look at him in the enclosure first. And you can see how they web around. So they make like a runway all the way around the edge. This is completely connected to the roof of this box as well. So it's going to be fun getting him out. These guys don't tend to show any form of defensive posture as such. They are more of a run for it type of spider. So with these, it's more about the speed. Now you notice now, this is a really good example of how the lid is attached to the web. You see that? And even when we're lifting it up, we are lifting the whole thing. So that is not going to break away. So what we're going to have to do to make this a little bit simpler for us, we are going to slip our brush in underneath. We're going to hold the web. And we are going to peel it back. And if we peel it from the inside to the outside, we will maintain the same sort of structure that it's got. And hopefully we can deal with it. Right, there we go. That's our lid off. Now look at that for an absolutely exquisite spider. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that golden carapace on that. Got the markings on the abdomen. Very, very pretty. That is one very, very pretty spider. Now this is a young male. So we are literally just growing him on. And hopefully he will pair up with our female. And we can have a look at her enclosure actually shortly. We'll have a little look. Right, let's see if we can get him in. Bearing in mind what we said, very, very fast. If this spider should happen to get out of the box and hit the floor, then it's going to be all fun and games trying to get him back because he's very, very quick. So we're going to put our box, same as we did the funnel web. We're going to touch him very, very gently. He should run around, yep, like he did. Notice that, we can see a really beautiful, beautiful picture of him there. Absolute, that gold is to die for. Absolutely stunning looking. He is so, so handsome. Look at that. There are some real beauties in the spider world, and this has got to be up there with them. Look at that abdomen. What a beautiful spider. Right. We take a still photo of that, can't we?
I can.
Yeah.
Just going to zoom in again.
You can see he's got them really long legs.
Just make sure I've got him all. Is that the button there, Armand, Dave?
Yep. Just press it and let go. That's it.
It's just doing its thing. There we go.
Such a handsome thing. Right. There you go. You see how we noticed when we moved the light away, he reacted to the light. Now getting this little guy in is going to be quite some fun because these are super, super fast. They can teleport, as you just saw there. So we're going to come to the front here now because we don't want him up on our hand. I think in actual fact what we're going to do, we're going to put this box in the box. So we're going to turn this around. You see now how we have to accommodate to fit the situation. So we can put this inside. There you go. Look at that. And he just leapt straight out. Perfect. That was absolutely perfect. And there he is. Now the idea of putting him inside one of these boxes, we could have left him in the box that he was in and he would have molted out, no problem at all. But the idea of putting him inside this one is so that our female is in the same style box, and it means that we can literally put one box against the other box, put them side by side, and we can allow them to meet each other at their own time, and then hopefully we'll get a successful pairing.
Putting some blue on the legs and that, is that?
Yeah. They got many of the spiders that you'll see with sort of black legs will come out blue, and the females especially will show a lot of blue in their legs.
That's, yeah, really blue at the moment.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
An absolutely stunning spider. Now, as we saw there, he's very quick, but he's not at all defensive. All he wants to do is escape and disappear. So he is absolutely beautiful. He's such a lovely spider. And we always try and get a picture, if we can, of our spiders when the opportunity arises. And it's not always that often with these sort of spiders. Right then, so that's that one. So far so good, eh? We'll put the lid on this. So, as we were saying, the idea of putting this fallax male in here is to let him molt out inside this box, and then he will literally be put beside the female in her box like this, and then he can cross over, pair with her, he can come back, and what we can do then is we can put these two boxes in our butterfly net and leave them overnight and just let them get on with it. And hopefully by having all of that spare room all around where he can just run and disappear, bearing in mind that the boxes will be webbed up, so it's not like he is now. If he was to fall into this box now with a female, this would be a small area and he would feel trapped because he can't climb up the plastic. But our female is fully webbed up, so she can, he can get out of that webbing. We also have a female in a glass 30 by 30 exo, which we will put him in as well, and that enclosure we will try and film the pairing and see how we get on. So there you go, that's him done. Very cool spiders. Now here's for our last one. Now this is the Harmonicon. This is the biggest of them, and we can see that this girl has molted out. Now she's also gone off of her food a little bit, hence we're going to move her over, and you'll see that she's got quite a small abdomen. Now these guys do have a very elongated abdomen, but it shouldn't be quite as thin as this one is. So we're hoping that we can move her over, give her a little change, and it will kickstart her appetite back in again. Now again, these are very quick. We will is that all right there?
Yeah. We
will try and get this in one piece. So what we're going to do now, we're going to use our paintbrush in here. What we just want her to back out. You see how she's backing out nice and gently? It's because we're being very gentle. Hardly touching her, you see. There you go. Now you can have a nice look at her there. Now these have a lovely sort of almost like a burgundy red carapace. Really pretty. Very long spinnerets. But you'll also notice there that her abdomen is very small. Very small. So we need to try and sort that out. Now this girl is actually getting on a little bit. And you'll see now that as she moves out, you see how she lays flat to the floor. Really showing herself off here now. We can see that redness in the carapace there. You can see she's actually sitting on top of a molt there. So she molted out some time back. And what we're going to do now is we are going to try and get her to walk out nice and steady. Now we know these guys are notoriously quick. So again, we're going to put our tub on the side there, because our tub is actually the same width as this one. It's just that this one's shallow and this one's deep. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down with a brush like this. Try not to lose it on the box. Going to come down with a brush like this. Now what we do is we rest the brush on the box like so. This gives us a bit more control. We're just going to touch this leg now. See how she responds to that. She's like, what was that? We're just going to go very, very slowly. See how we're using the brush and we're touching all of the legs now. What we want to do is we want to try and get her to back up a little bit without going underneath that web. That's it. We get her to turn. You see there? Now we're using the whole brush again. We're going to try and cut off her exit. Oh, she's going to go over the brush. Okay. So what we can do now, we will turn this around. See if we can get her to come up this side here. Again, using the full length of the brush. You notice we're not getting any aggression again. We just want her to move over the edge. Nice and gently. There we go. You'll also see how she's dealing with the plastic quite well. Just going to move her legs over. We've taken the one away now, so she can't come back. No. There's nothing. There's nothing there, my dear. Nothing there. You see how she's laying web down? Look at all that web. You know, so she's also quite adept on the plastic. There we go. Now we've got her on the log. Now you would have seen there how she is throwing out web everywhere. So these guys are much more adept at climbing that box. The other guys had no chance at all. They just couldn't grip it. But these can. Look at that. She's up. You notice how she uses
the web as well.
Yeah, you notice how she can grip that very, very fine paintbrush. See how she's webbing all the time. These guys are such serious webbers. Look at all this web. They literally throw web out like there's no tomorrow. And we can bring this back in here. See, she will hang on that paintbrush. And you notice how as long as we're sort of gentle and slow, we're not getting any aggression from her. She's being very, very good. That's it, go back down. That's what we want you to do. Right, we're going to try and move her down. Notice how they do like to be up. There you go. Right. Well, that is our harmonicon. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll put the lid on her. Although she's being very, very cool. Yeah, we're alright. She can stay there. Now, as you would have seen there, we've moved 3 different types of spider. And they all reacted in different ways. Now, although they're all sort of like very similar in what they do, you see how she's webbing the sides of the thing? She's coming over to have another look. She's very adventurous, this one. But you also see that she's very placid. So she's been very slow in what she's doing. She's not tearing around.
Is that typical, or is it just...
Well, it's just because now she doesn't feel threatened by anything. At the moment, she's literally just in a strange environment. But she doesn't feel threatened because we've been very gentle with her. We know that there's nothing to be fearful here. We don't need to be scared of her. So we can literally just move her over. That is all we're doing.
Web everywhere.
Yep, she's webbing this up like crazy. Now when we finally get into our new room, which is getting closer by the day, we're looking into quotes at the moment are coming in, so hopefully it won't be too long now and we can start construction. And this girl then will end up in a decent sized glass enclosure where we can allow her to web up to her heart's content, and it should be a really cool display. It will look really, really nice. So I think what we'll do, we're just going to get her to go pop her back in, just touch her very gently. We don't want you coming up the paintbrush. Look at all this web.
You can really see it from here.
Yeah. Going to tie herself up in a knot in the web. Right, we'll get her to go down there. That's it, she's in. We're going to shut the sides up now before she pokes her toes out. That is so sticky and so strong. Right, that is our harmonicon. So that was absolutely fantastic. Very, very cool. Now, a spider that's very, very similar to the harmonicon is the Linothelli sericata, which you can see here. And you're going to remember we rehouse these guys, and this is what they do in these tubs. They just make these amazing web structures, and all they have is holes, which are like escape holes where they come out and they sit and they wait for food and things like that. Well, we can take the lid off of this because we don't normally worry, because these guys don't generally want to leave. Now we can see this one's molted out, which is nice that we've got a nice clean molt. We have it there, but unfortunately this was a spider that was paired, so that also means now that we won't be getting an egg sac from this particular, oh, its leg come off. We won't be getting an egg sac from this particular spider. You can see the blue in that leg there.
It's not really coming through now.
You can see, if I get a bit of light on that, see the blue?
Yeah.
Which is refracting from the black. It's very, very cool. Now, what we'll do, we'll get this molt out, and then we can have a little look, and we'll see if we can't drop a cricket in there and see if we can get a little bit of feeding footage, because that would be rather cool. Right, here we go. You ready? I think she's probably going to come up here. So what we'll do is we'll turn this around like so. We'll drop our cricket in. See if she comes up. It's normally a good thing with crickets is they tend to kick around a little bit. You gonna move?
Come on.
Oh,
I saw her get it.
yeah. It literally ran straight down the hole and to her.
She's there, look.
You get a good shot of that. Get right in
It
there.
weren't amazing, but we did see her get it.
Yeah, zoom in there. Move it to the centre.
Through the web.
Yeah. Through the web. Oh, there it was.
Oh. How do I get it back?
Gently. Centre picture. And just about make her out.
I'm going to try one more.
So we'll throw another one in for her. She can have two.
I got one.
You managed it, yeah?
No.
Oh, perfect. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful footage there.
Thank you. Only took us a little bit.
Amazing.
Well done, my brother, don't breathe.
Right, let's try another one.
Okay.
Another spider.
Oh.
We'll give her a second cricket.
Do you know how long it took me to get that in focus?
There you go. She's got it.
Took it as well. See, Dave.
Look at that.
Now she's come out, the devil. Gorgeous. Oh.
Very cool. Right, let's crack on and see what the next one. And we can see now this is a curtain web spider, sericata. So very much like the fallax. They are the same family, and you can see the way they build their webs. Now this is the funnel webs here. We've got two here. I thought we'd bring these down and show you these guys, because you can see the difference in how they've built their webs. Now you can see how it's more of a very, very thick carpet all over. Take these lids off. Yes, you can see how it's a very, very thick carpet all over, and they just have entry holes that are like down on the ends. They sealed the tops in. This one is very, very thick, really quite cool. What we'll do is we'll put some water in there. We won't fill it right up, because remember, it will act as a wick, and we don't want these guys getting too wet. And then what we'll do, we'll turn that around that way.
Oh, if we film, can you bring it closer to me? Someone tippy toe.
And then we'll see if we can't get a little bit of feeding.
You can do one at a time.
Footage. Yes, we can see what happens. If I can catch a cricket in time, that is. Where are the big crickets? We've used most of the big ones. Oh dear, this is painful.
We're getting bored now.
Not the only one. Right, here we go. We'll drop that down there. See if she comes out. She might not. Not seeing much movement in there. Typical. I don't think she's particularly hungry. Let's try this one. Oh, that's why he was easy. Oh no, he is alive.
Oh, Dave.
It don't look like they're going to play ball, does it?
No.
Doesn't look like they're hungry. No, I don't think they're going to go. Oh well, we've had a bit of a feeding fail there.
Oh, Dave.
Well, 1 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. Right. Well, that's about sort of going to wrap up our enclosures. In actual fact, what we will do, we will have one quick look at our fallax female in her glass enclosure. So she's around here, and we can see over here, this is what she's done. Now you'll remember when we done this rehousing, and you can see how she's made this sort of like tent, and she comes out and sits on top of this, and if you look in the back there, you can see that there's a hole there, and that is where she tends to come out from. So we can try and feed her. I don't know if she will. It may be worth a try.
Don't let me down, Dave.
Well, we'll try not to, but finding a decent sized cricket, we will try this. So what we want to be doing is concentrating on that hole. We'll open this up very, very gently. These guys are very, very prone to vibration. And we'll drop it just in here. And hopefully it will have a little fidget about and she will come out. Better from here, maybe. Typical. When you want them to move, they don't move at all. That is where she'll come from, out of that hole. If she comes out. Is she coming out?
No.
Let's try another one, see if we can get a bit more lively cricket in there.
Oh my God, they're playing statues.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like they know.
Give him a tickle.
Mm.
And another. She ain't coming, Dave. My God.
They're not playing ball, are they?
This is rubbish.
Is she in there?
We'll turn the camera off and she'll come and have a munch.
Yeah. It don't look like our crickets want to play ball. If he gets any closer, he'll actually be in there. We won't see nothing at all. Right, I think we're going to give that a miss.
Yeah, my arms are aching now.
Yeah. Right then. Right. Well, sorry about that. We can't always guarantee they're going to come out and feed. I'm watching in the background. We'll see her tear out in a minute. She'll probably grab it. Right then. So that is our rehousing of our little group of spiders there. And hopefully you would have seen there the difference in behaviour from 3 different types of spider. And even the most notorious are actually reasonably gentle if we're careful. And you'll notice we just had to go nice and slow, take it steady, don't push them too hard, and you'll find that most of the times you can deal with them. And this goes across the board to all of your spiders. And we can do this with everybody. You know, our OBTs, our HMACs, Ruffalatas, all this sort of stuff. They can all be dealt with in a similar way. You just need to take your time and be careful. Just be gentle, and 9 times out of 10, things will go well. Right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And I'll see you soon, guys.